What's good, YouTube? It's your boy BossManWann, aka One Yeezy, aka One Dude. And yes, sir, man. Today we are ranked the top 12 NBA players of all time. Now look, bro, I'm gonna give you my 5 right here, right now, bro. Not in order, but 5 right now. MJ, LBJ, Kobe, Kareem, Shaq. Those are 5 right there. You know what I'm saying? On top of my head, you know what I'm saying? I ain't do my research. You know what I'm saying? So if I miss somebody, Bill Russell, Larry Bird, you know, if I miss somebody, I can go back and change it. But right now, top of my head, those are my top 5. Give me our top 5 right here, right now, man. But hey, before we do that, I'm gonna go straight to this video. Before I straight to this video, I want y'all to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We hit 7K. Now we're in the road to the 8K crew. Hey man, first thing first. Yes sir, man. Go straight to the video.
This video takes a look at the 12 best basketball players of all time. This video takes a look at the 12 best basketball players of all time. When making this list, I focused on several categories: peak, longevity, playoff performance compared to regular season performance, level of competition, and lastly, team success. Even if you don't agree with the order.
First thing first, bro, this man's criteria for to determine who's the best of the best is pitch perfect, bro. You see, sometimes nowadays it's all about the numbers. Nowadays, it's all about the stats. Nowadays, it's all about how much you like the guy. But that don't mean he the best. You gotta go by these right here. This is how you determine who's that guy and who ain't that guy, Ben Simmons. My fault, Ben. I didn't mean to do that to you, my boy. My fault. But get better, please. Shame, bro. If I was 6'8", bro, I'd be going stupid. Now look, bro, it ain't about me. Let's get to the video.
Of my list, I hope you can at least respect
6'11",
my
6'11", my
process
fault, 6'11".
and the effort I made. Without further ado, let's get to it. Number 12, Tim Duncan. Duncan played 19 seasons and was an above-average player for 18 of them, which speaks to his incredible longevity. He also upped his game in the postseason, especially in his prime, which led to him winning 4 rings in his first 10 seasons. He was also an elite defensive anchor from the time he entered the league to the time he left it, and a good passer for a big man. What prevents Duncan from landing higher is his lack of a dominant peak. Even at his apex, he was never an overwhelming scorer, averaging over 25 points per game just once. He averaged 20 points per game just once in his last 11 seasons. His 2003 postseason was dominant, but his 4 other title runs in 1999, 2005, 2007, and 2014 were merely just very good to great. Duncan essentially punted on the regular season over the last 6 or 7 years.
Oh my lord, hold up. I ain't see Duncan jumping out of the gym like those. I ain't never see that, bro. Maybe I'm too young for that. Maybe I'm too young. But I ain't never see Duncan jump out of the gym. Hold up, bro. Run that back.
Essentially punted on the regular season over the last 6
my lord, that's head top action.
Pressure for the playoffs. This was smart in terms of trying to win rings, but for lists like this, it's not fair to other players who didn't have the same luxury and also had better regular season production. To put it simply, if Duncan had played the way he did from 1998 to 2007 for about 5 more years, he'd be higher. But I just can't get over his lack of production offensively compared to the other guys on this list. Number 11, Kobe Bryant.
It's Kobe number 11.
To have a list ranking the best players in NBA history without pissing off somebody in regards to where Kobe is placed. Despite their shockingly similar career accomplishments, Kobe is, in some ways, the bizarro Tim Duncan. Kobe was brash and outspoken and played for a huge market, while Duncan was more quiet and liked being under the radar in little San Antonio. Kobe's best quality was as a scorer, whereas Duncan excelled more in the other facet. Kobe's most impressive seasons came later on in his career after a slow start, whereas Duncan was elite from day one and gracefully declined thereafter. What gave Kobe the slight edge to me over Duncan was his scoring ability. No matter what era of basketball you talk about, scoring will always be the most important part. Kobe gets overrated when people blindly bring up his 5 rings without context, and statistically, Kobe wasn't that good late in close games despite his clutch reputation. But his longevity, particularly his 13-year stretch from 2001 to 2013, where he averaged 28, 6, and 5 in the regular season and 29, 6, 6-5 in the playoffs was extremely impressive. He was never the clear-cut best player in the league, but in 2006 and 2007, you can make a great argument for him being so. He obviously wouldn't have won 3 rings from 2000 to 2002 without Shaq, but he showed he could be the first option on championship teams with his great title runs in 2009 and 2010, with timely help from Pau Gasol and Derek Fisher. My biggest gripe with Kobe, and why he's not ranked higher, is that he was not very good in the NBA Finals. In 7 appearances, he shot 43% or worse 6 times, and really only in 2002 and 2009 did he consistently perform at what I would consider to be a superstar level. Kobe gets overrated when people desperately try to put him in conversations he doesn't belong in, such as Jordan and LeBron, but he will always be an NBA legend. He made an immeasurable impact.
Hold up. I don't like those though, man. When you look at MJ, who's second to MJ? This is a spitting image of MJ in a Lakers jersey. Let's be real. We all know MJ was, you know what I'm saying? We all know he's better. I'm giving MJ that edge, of course, but who was this close? Who was these close to getting there, bro? Kobe. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's facts. That's facts, bro.
Across the world, and he was an absolutely phenomenal player for an incredibly long time. Number 10, Wilt Chamberlain. Let's start with the positives. Wilt Chamberlain was an absolute freak, both on and off the court, who could last in any era. His production is so mind-boggling.
Over Kobe, though? Okay, man. Okay, it's a 30-minute video. We ain't gonna pause too much, but I got me personally. I got Kobe over Wilt. Me personally, bro. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's the era I grew up in or what, but you know what I'm saying? I'm putting Kobe over Wilt, bro. In my opinion, man.
Some people have questioned whether he was actually a real person. One must look at his career in 3 phases. The first phase was from 1960 to 1966, where he averaged almost 40 fucking points per game and won 7.
Look at these janitors playing basketball, bro.
The second phase was from 1967
these are janitors playing basketball,
he decided
bro.
to sacrifice points for a more well-rounded style. This resulted in him winning back-to-back MVPs and finally breaking through to win his first ring in 1967. He even led the league in assists as a 7'1" center in 1968. The third and final phase of his career was from 1960.
He led the league in assists as a center. I know Joker doing it. You know what I'm saying? I know he averaged a big time amount of assists, but come on, my G. Come on, over Kobe, bro. These are I can be in the league right now, bro. Back in the day, bro, I can be in the league, bro, and I can average 50, bro.
1969 to 1973, where he took.
That's all I'm saying. Competition matters. Competition does matter, bro. That's all I'm saying.
To become a defensive terror.
Will Chamberlain, no disrespect to Will Chamberlain, but I got Kobe respectfully.
MVP and 4 finals appearances. Will also finished his career with 11 rebounding titles and an ungodly amount of blocked shots, which unfortunately weren't tracked by the NBA until the year after he retired. Now for the negatives. It's obvious Wilt benefited mightily from a lack of competition, as he was far and away the best athlete every time he stepped on the court. Outside of his matchups with Russell and later on Kareem. His numbers also look better due to playing in an era with way more possessions. Despite his 2 rings and finals MVP, Wilt's performance in the postseason was nowhere near the same level as it was in the regular season, even in his prime. He was a horrendous free throw shooter, and he had a reputation for caring more about stats than wins. Even taking into account his supporting cast, I see no excuse for why he didn't take a much bigger role offensively during his time with the Lakers, particularly in their finals losses to the Celtics and Knicks. Wilt's peak and versatility were legitimately jaw-dropping, but his competition wasn't great, his play declined in the playoffs, and his teams didn't win as much as you'd expect, so he'll have to settle for being number 10 on my list. Number 9, Shaquille O'Neal. It speaks to Shaq's incredible ability that he underachieved and still lands at number 9. He had an insane peak, topped off by 3 straight championships from 2000 to 2002, where he won 3 finals MVPs, all of which are some of the most dominant finals performances ever. 38-17-2 with 3 blocks per game in 2000, 33-16-5 with 3 blocks per game.
Yo, who went for this Shaq? Who went for that shot? I know Bill Russell on this list, bro. If Wilt Chamberlain on this list, Bill Russell has to be on this list, bro. And I'm a Boston Celtics fan. For all those who don't know, I'm a Boston Celtics fan. I like Bill Russell, you know what I'm saying? That's my guy. Even though I was able to see him play, I like the chips he brought. 11 rings? I love those. You feel me? But I hope for my sake and y'all's sake, for everybody's sake, bro, that Bill Russell is not in front of Shaq in this list. I just hope not, bro. I just hope not. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
2001.
Let's see what we got talking about.
12-4 with 3 blocks per game in 2002, all on insane efficiency. His longevity also gets underrated. He averaged at least 20 points per game in each of his first 14 seasons. He finished top 2 in MVP voting in both his 3rd and 13th season. He never finished on a losing team in 19 years. He was the best player on 2 different teams that made the finals, and the 2nd best player on a 3rd. He led the league in field goal percentage 10 times, won 2 scoring titles, and had one of the best seasons by any player ever in 2000 when he won his only MVP
Any
award.
player ever.
That's right. The self-proclaimed most dominant player ever won just 1 MVP. How? Well, Shaq might have been big in many ways, but he wasn't big on conditioning. He routinely came into seasons out of shape in his prime, and his lack of conditioning resulted in injuries that caused him to miss a substantial amount of games. For most players, this mindset would result in them flaming out of the league, but Shaq was so good he could get away with it. It's no coincidence Shaq's only MVP season came during Phil Jackson's first year as Lakers coach, in which he basically shamed Shaq into working harder than he ever had before. If Shaq had this mindset consistently through his prime, he might have won 5 to 6 MVPs and staked a legitimate claim as the best player ever. Much like WILT, Shaq was a terrible
I doubt. Now look, bro, today's NBA, I doubt that Shaq would have got 5 MVPs because they love to, you know what I'm saying? They love to move on. You know what I mean? Look at LeBron, for example. LeBron should have, let's be real, LeBron should have 8 MVPs. Probably, you know what I'm saying? 8 MVPs, legit. You know, I'm gonna be real with you. He should have 8, or I might be doing too much when I say 8. He should at least have 6. Like, let's be real, bro. LeBron James has been the best player for how long? A decade. There has been nobody better than LeBron James in over a decade. And he got 4 MVPs. It's a crime, bro. That's an actual crime, bro. You know what I mean? So even if Shaq had that mindset to keep in shape, keep his body right, I feel like he'll probably get 3 MVPs. I'll give him 3.
Which prevented him from winning more scoring titles. And for all of his physical advantages, Shaq never led the league in rebounds or blocks and could be exploited by the pick and roll on defense. Shaq was also fortunate to play with tons of great wing players in his prime like Penny Hardaway, Dwayne Wade, and most notably, Kobe Bryant. But even if Shaq did underachieve, at his best he instilled more fear into opponents than maybe any player ever. I just hope he doesn't try to eat me for ranking him this low. Number 8, Larry Bird. Larry Legend is the last player to win 3 straight MVPs. His 4-year stretch from 1985 to 1988 where he averaged 28, 10, and 7.
Like I said before, I'm a Celtics fan, bro. I like these. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't put, me personally, I wouldn't put Larry Bird over Shaq, me personally, but Larry Bird is definitely that guy, bro.
On 52, 41, 92 shooting splits is still otherworldly. He was a complete offensive player, an elite scorer, shooter, and passer. He was also a great rebounder, and while he couldn't guard anybody one-on-one, he generated lots of blocks and steals on defense. He was feared by opponents for his clutch
Larry
shooting.
Legend.
He was the best player on 3 title teams. When he was in the lineup, his teams won at an exceptionally high level.
Look at that shooting.
73.6% of the time, to be exact. All this being said, people like to pick and choose what they remember about Bird's career. For starters, he didn't have much longevity, as he only played 10 full seasons. The bigger issue I have in regards to Bird is that his postseason career is overrated. He was exceptional in both the 1984 and 1986 postseasons on his way to 2 rings and 2 Finals MVPs, but outside of those 2 years, there is a lot of disappointment. As a rookie in 1980, he lost in the conference finals with home court advantage. In 1981, he won.
Yo! You just said as a rookie, my boy. You don't want to come in the league with that type of Why is that up here, bro? Why is his rookie stats up here, bro?
As a rookie in 1980, he lost in the conference finals with home court advantage.
He lost in the conference finals as a rookie with home court advantage. You really put that up here? What is that? You're a rookie. Even though you're a great rookie, bro, not a lot of people are expected to win anything their rookie season. You know what I mean? The fact that the fact that he got home court advantage and he lost in a game 7 in the conference finals, that's a kudos. That's an accomplishment, my boy.
advantage. In 1981, he won the NBA title, but badly underperformed in the finals and didn't win Finals MVP. At one point, he scored just 28 points in a 3-game span. In 1982, he lost again in the conference finals with home court advantage, averaging just 18 points on 41% shooting. In 1983, he got swept in the conference semifinals, again with home court advantage, to Milwaukee, averaging just 19 points per game on 44% shooting. In 1985, he lost in the finals with, you guessed it, home court advantage. He averaged 24 points per game on 45% shooting. Not terrible, but a far cry from the 29 points per game and 52% shooting he had in the regular season. 1987 was an impressive playoff run by Bird as he averaged 27, 10, and 7 on 48% shooting, but his injured Celtics team fell in the finals to LA. This is the first and only time Bird lost a playoff series without home court advantage. Bird put up 24 points per game on 45% shooting in the series, again well below his regular season marks of 28 points and 53% shooting. In 1988, Bird flamed out badly in the conference finals against Detroit, yes, with home court advantage, putting up just 20 points per game on 35% shooting, well below the 30 points and 53% shooting he put up in the regular season. Bird missed almost the entire 1989 season, but came back strong in 1990. His Celts took a 2-0 lead on the Knicks before losing the last 3 games to go out in the first round, again with home court advantage. Bird was a shell of himself after this, as his back problems became too much. But just for the record, in 1991, his Celtics once again lost with home court advantage in the conference finals to Detroit. Bird shot just...
Not that I remember that, like I was there to see that. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't there to see. I wasn't even born. You know what I mean? But I remember when he started having back problems and, you know, he started to regress.
38% in that series. For those keeping track, Bird lost a playoff series with home court advantage 7 times. His peak was as good as anybody, and he was an absolute joy to watch, but his lack of longevity and surprisingly underwhelming playoff career leave him lower on my list than one might expect. Look at his Number 7, shooting, Stephen Curry. Surprised? You shouldn't be. As somebody who absolutely despises Steph's fans, this ranking was tough to make, but it's necessary. It's hard to believe now that Steph was once an afterthought due to ankle injuries that hampered the first 3 years of his career. He broke through in 2013 during the infant stages of the Splash Brothers era. Then in 2014, he became an All-NBA player, and when healthy...
Yo! Stephen Curry's up here, bro, at number 7. Oh, this list is bad. This list is bad, bro. Not to disrespect Curry. Why is Curry over Shaq? Yo, that's crazy. Oh my gosh,
Since 2015, he's played at a higher level in the regular season than any other point guard.
I love Curry, bro.
Not to sound too much like his groupies, but Steph's shooting ability is so incredible.
Curry,
teams must account for him at all times.
I love Curry, man, but
sending
Shaq,
2 or 3 guys at him by the time he crosses half court. This is a type of impact we've never seen from a perimeter player before. He's won 2 MVPs and 2 scoring titles, and his efficiency is what you'd expect from a big man that only scores off of dunks and alley-oops, not a guy who takes 10 threes per game. Now is where things get muddy. Steph has 3 rings, but the context around those 3 rings makes them much less impressive. The first came against a badly depleted Cavaliers team, and the last 2 came after his team added megastar Kevin Durant to essentially become fail-proof. Then there's the matter of 2016, in which Steph, admittedly not at 100%, still badly underperformed in the finals, which led to his team blowing a 3-1 lead. Steph's relatively small physical stature also plays a role in him wearing down come playoff time, as his efficiency goes from being otherworldly to just great. Steph is still a great playoff player, but he has some truly terrible games on his resume, which has prevented him from winning a Finals MVP despite playing in 5 finals. It's a shame KD had to ruin NBA history by joining Golden State, as I would have loved to have seen what Steph could have done as the undisputed league dog from 2017 to 2019. Would have a definitive answer as to whether or not Steph is the best point guard of all time. He still has time to claim that mantle if he leads Golden State to another ring and finally has a final series where he's the undisputed best player. But as of now, I just can't put him over Magic, even though if I had the choice, I would much rather face a team with Magic on it than a team with Steph on it. Number 6, Kevin Durant. KD has the most complicated legacy of any superstar, not just in NBA history, but sports history. The choices he's made, particularly joining a 73-win team during the heart of his prime, have muddied his legacy forever. In OKC, he established himself as a superstar, but despite several deep runs in the playoffs, including a trip to the NBA Finals in 2012, KD was never able to lead them to a ring. Some of that was out of his control due to injuries, but a large part of it was due to
What is this based off of? Why is KD number 6, man? What is this based off of? Scoring complete, like what is this based off of? This man literally joined a super team and got 2 free chips. You know what I'm saying? 6 over Shaq.
His own inconsistency and
over Kobe.
Drop off in performance. He lost 6 playoff series with OKC, and besides the 2012 finals versus Miami, his efficiency was nowhere close to his regular season standard. In addition to his disappointing individual performances, Durant could be strangely content with allowing teammate Russell Westbrook handle the ball late in close games. Westbrook received most of the criticism for OKC's losses, while KD would skate by mostly unharmed. That would change once he cowardly joined Golden State, where he won 2 rings and 2 finals MVPs. He put up absolutely insane numbers in the finals to win those awards, but on those teams he was more of a luxury than a necessity, which is insane to think about. In my opinion, his rings with Golden State are less valuable than a bag of ring pops you can see at your local CVS. So
that being said, why you put him at number 6? I want to hear those.
All these valid and legit criticisms, why is KD 6th on my list?
Yes.
Because the league has never seen anybody like him. He's 7 foot tall but handles the ball like a guard. He can score from anywhere on the floor and at a high level. He can be plugged into any situation or era and score at a super efficient level. He might not be the most explosive scorer ever, but no player has ever had a higher floor as a scorer. The only defense you have against KD is hoping he misses, since he can get a shot off over any defender that's ever played. He's a loser beta male cuck, and he's not great as a rebounder, passer, or defender, but he is historically great and completely unstoppable at the most important facet of the sport, so I have to include him, even if it's done begrudgingly. Number 5.
You make no sense, my boy. All due respect, that ain't make no sense. You just, you just said this man can score, you know what I'm saying? He is 7 foot, he can handle the rock, he can do this, do that, do this, shoot, all this other stuff. All I'm hearing is offense. So just say is he the best? Just say he's the best offensive player. That don't mean you won the greatest of all. You number 6 of all time, my boy. You got 2 rings. Imagine if he had 2 rings. You just say his rings are equal to a bag of chips in the grocery store. So I think if KD didn't have no rings, he wouldn't be on this list. He's a great player, yes, but is he better than Shaq? Is he better than Kobe? Who was he named? I can't remember who else he named, but come on, bro. Come on, man.
Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson is known today for his bland tweets and retiring prematurely due to contracting
Number 6,
HIV.
though,
so
man.
It's easy for younger generations to forget just how amazing he was as a basketball player. Just off of accolades alone, 5 rings, 3 MVPs, 3 Finals MVPs, 9 Finals appearances, all-time leader in assists per game, he commands immense respect. Strictly in terms of traits, though, Magic was about as complete of an offensive player the league has ever seen. In addition to his legendary passing ability, Magic was also an extremely capable and super efficient scorer, averaging almost 20 points per game for his career, and he showed he could handle a larger scoring volume as KAREEM got older in the late 80s. He didn't have flashy handles like a Kyrie Irving, and he couldn't shoot like Steph, but he still got the job done. So why isn't he ranked higher than number 5? Well, despite being the first overall pick in 1979, he was extremely fortunate to be drafted into a great situation. He got to play alongside a prime KAREEM ABDUL-JABBAR from the very beginning of his career, and later on played with great talents like James Worthy. That's not to say he wouldn't have been successful if not drafted by the Lakers. As he showed in 1991, he could lead a team without great talent to the finals, but would he have had the same amount of team success overall? I don't believe so. For all of his greatness on offense, Magic was a soft defender. He racked up steals, but he couldn't guard anybody one-on-one due to his subpar lateral quickness, and he rarely blocked shots despite his massive height advantage over other point guards. His lack of a consistent jumper could also be exploited at times by defenses in the playoffs, but if you really think about it, his biggest weakness was condoms, as if he had used them, he might have played
that's
longer.
wild.
But overall, I still have him as the GOAT point guard over Steph.
That's foul, bro. That's foul, man.
Due to his legendary finals performances, most notably his 42-15-7 title-clinching performance in Game 6 as a rookie in 1980, and his 26-8-13 average against Boston in 1987, featuring his super clutch baby skyhook late on the road in Game 4 at the Boston Garden to put LA up 3-1. Magic probably didn't deserve Finals MVP in 1980 over Kareem, despite his amazing Game 6, but he deserved it in 1988 over Worthy, and he didn't win it then, so it evens out. With Magic at the controls, you could guarantee having a super elite offense and winning a shitload of games. And in the end, that's enough for him to crack my top 5. Number 4, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Hakeem Olajuwon,
If your initial reaction to Hakeem...
Okay, first thing first, bro. We are in the top 4 right now, bro. And you know 2 names that haven't been named yet. MJ and LBJ. Now look, bro. I don't know who y'all who I don't know who number 1 is to this guy, but y'all already know who number 1 to me. Y'all already know. Y'all already know these. He should be number 1 to everybody, but y'all have y'all opinions. I have my own. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately for y'all boys, my opinion are facts. LBJ has to be number 1 on this list. He has to be, because those are facts. But this guy don't be speaking facts, man. He put KD over Shaq and over Kobe, bro. I don't know what to say about those.
Ranking this high was disagreement. Just remember this: Houston chose him over Michael Jordan in 1984.
Oh, he put Hakeem over Shaq.
That's
wow.
How amazing Hakeem was. Known for his unstoppable post moves and graceful athletic movements, Hakeem was a complete basketball player on both sides of the ball. He checked off every box one can look for in a player. He had amazing longevity, averaging 20 and 10 on 50% shooting in each of the first 12 years of his career. He had a great peak, averaging 27, 12, and 4 with a ridiculous 2 steals and 4 blocks per game. From 1993 to 1996, he went up against and dominated the other elite big men of his era like Shaq, David Robinson, and Patrick Ewing, and he led Houston to 3 finals appearances, winning 2 rings and 2 finals MVPs. But the biggest reason Hakeem ranks this highly is his playoff performance. He produced at a higher volume while being more efficient in the playoffs than the regular season, which is ultra rare. He led the playoffs in points per game 3 times, including both years he led Houston to titles in 1994 and 1995. From 1987 to 1995, he played 82 playoff games, the equivalent to a full regular season. In those games, he averaged a ridiculous 29, 12, and 4 with 2 steals and 4 blocks on 50%.
That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. That's not ridiculous. You know, 29 points. That's tough. That is nice, but that's not ridiculous, bro. Not at least not in today's game. You know what I'm saying? That's nice. That's great. That's actually great, but ridiculous. I'm thinking 32 points, 30 points. You know what I'm saying? It was close to 30, but I'm thinking 32, 35. You talking about ridiculous? You talking about otherworldly? That's what I'm thinking. 32 points per game or 35 points per game. That's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But back in the day, that is a high number of points, especially back in the day when offense didn't come easy, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that.
Needless to say, he was a super clutch and dominant player.
I'll give him that. That's nice. That's a nice stat.
Versatility is shown in the history books as well. He ranks 12th all-time in points, 14th in rebounds, 9th in steals, and 1st in blocks. If one had to nitpick Hakeem's career, it would be that from 1988 to 1992, 5 years of his prime, his teams never won a playoff series. It's obviously not because of Hakeem they didn't see success, but it makes one wonder why he couldn't elevate his teams a little bit more. There's also the Jordan factor. If MJ had never left to play baseball, would Hakeem's Rockets have broken through to win in 94 and 95? Nobody will ever know. But outside of his 3 finals appearances in 86, 94, and 95, Hakeem's teams only made it past the second round 1 time in 15 years. Those are really the only gripes I can find, but Hakeem accomplished pretty much everything a player can while playing at a level very few players have ever reached, with a style no player has been able to replicate before or since. So because of that, he sneaks onto my Mount Rushmore. Number 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I figured.
When going strictly by resume and body of work,
and I forgot Kareem in my top 5, man. I forgot Kareem. Kareem is, bro, we all know how Kareem is, bro. We all know Kareem.
Might be the GOAT.
We all know Kareem, bro. Kareem is crazy.
6 MVPs, 6 rings, all-time leading scorer, 2
Kareem is crazy,
MVPs, 19-time All-Star, 15-time All-NBA. I could go on for hours. He owns the most unstoppable shot in basketball history, the skyhook. He won Finals MVP 14 years apart. He came into the NBA in 1970 as Phenom. He averaged over 20 points per game in each of his first 17 seasons. He won his 6 MVPs over his first 11 seasons. seasons, in which time he averaged a jaw-dropping 28, 14, and 5 on 56% shooting in the regular season, and 30, 16, and 4 on 54% shooting in the playoffs. From ages 35 to 38, when most former superstars are either washed or retired, Kareem averaged 22, 7, and 3 on 58% shooting in the regular season, and 24, 8, and 4 on 56% shooting in the playoffs. It wasn't until he turned 40 that Kareem finally hit the wall, but even then, at age 42 in the 1989 finals against the legendary Bad Boy Pistons, he had enough left to put up 24 points and 13 rebounds on 53% shooting in Game 3. Peak? Check. Longevity? Check. Playoff performance? Check. Team success? Check. Level of competition? Well, that is the big bugaboo. You see, during Kareem's peak years in the 1970s, the NBA was diluted due to rampant drug use and the ABA stealing away talent. It's also worth noting that during this time, that despite being head and shoulders above every other player, Kareem's teams only won one title. He was known to be a bit selfish and aloof, which could have played a role in his teams underperforming. Kareem also never really had a true rival to push him. Wilt was there in Kareem's first 4 years, but Wilt's best days were behind him. It looked like fellow UCLA alum Bill Walton might have been that guy in the mid to late 70s, but injuries sapped him from ever reaching his potential, and Kareem's best years were long gone by the time Ewing and Hakeem
Look at that skyhook though,
There's
man.
also the biggest reason why I have Hakeem number 3 and not in the top 2. He was only the undisputed best player on 2 title teams in 1971 and 1980. In 1982 and 1985, it's a toss-up both years between him and Magic, but it's not clear-cut. In his last 2 titles in 87 and 88, he had clearly taken a back seat and let Magic run the show. Most of this is understandable given his age, but it's context that is required in these types of rankings, as not all rings are equal. Kareem was extremely fortunate to play the majority of his career with a great point guard like Oscar Robertson, albeit an older version, and Magic. From 1975 to 79, in the heart of his prime, without either Oscar or Magic as a teammate, Kareem missed the playoffs twice and didn't make the finals.
This
crazy, gets at the
bro.
bigger picture for me, as I think it's impossible for any big man to truly be the best player of all time because they are more reliant on help than other positions. They can't initiate an offense like a guard or a wing player, and I think that's extremely vital. Nevertheless, Kareem goes down as the best big man ever to me due to his mix of peak years and ridiculous longevity, but now we get to 2 guys who are in their own.
Okay, we here.
Number 2,
Michael Jordan, number 2. I knew it. So you do got a little sense, my boy. You got some sense. You got some sense. Number 2, Michael Jordan. So we all know who number 1 is, bro. Okay.
Jordan. If you think MJ is the GOAT, nothing I say is going to change your mind. If you don't think MJ is the GOAT, nothing I say is going to change your mind. If you think MJ is the GOAT, I don't have any problem with that. Unlike that fraud bitch, Tom Brady, I have nothing but respect for MJ's talent and accomplishments. Up until a few years ago, I believed he was the best player ever. By now, you know all about his accomplishments. 6 rings, 6 finals MVPs, a perfect finals record, 5 MVPs, the highest career points per game in both the regular season and playoffs, 10 scoring titles, a defensive player of the year, rookie of the year, etc. He accomplished all of this with a perfect combination of athletic grace, unmatched skill, and mental toughness. He was a psychotic competitor who knew he was the best, would dominate you to prove he was still the best, and then remind you about it afterwards. His reputation as a great clutch performer is well earned, as he routinely took games over in the 4th quarter in the postseason. His 7-year run from 87 to 93 is probably the best peak any player has ever had. 33, 6, and 6 on 52% shooting in the regular season, 35, 7, and 7 on 50% shooting in the playoffs, and 36, 8, and 7 on 53% shooting in the finals. We all know the story from here. MJ, quote-unquote, retired after winning his 3rd ring to go suck at baseball for nearly 2 years, came back towards the end of 1995, got booted from the playoffs by Orlando, then led the Bulls to another 3-peat from 96 to 98. During his 2nd 3-peat, MJ was still the best player in the world, but he was no longer at the god level he was before. He was more prone to off-shooting nights and a step slower defensively. Scottie Pippen took on most of the top defensive assignments so MJ could save energy for offense. MJ had the best peak ever. He was the best player on 6 title teams. He stepped up in the playoffs, so why is he not number 1? Well, this is like trying to find a pimple on this.
Cause the guy next to him is LeBron James. That's why, bro. It's just simple as that, bro. That says enough, bro.
but I'll do my best. First off, MJ only played 11 full seasons with Chicago, aka his prime years, so compared to other players on this list, he didn't have a ton of longevity. But the biggest knock on MJ to me is his lack of competition during the 90s. It's not a coincidence that MJ's Bulls didn't break through until the top teams of the 80s like the Pistons, Celtics, and Lakers declined. MJ's title years came during a watered-down era filled with expansion teams that led to inflated win-loss records across the league. This doesn't explain the Bulls' 6 rings, but it gives some context. MJ also benefited greatly from never playing against a truly great team in the finals.
Y'all heard it, man.
A Lakers team in 1991 that was injured, a Blazers team in 1992.
Do y'all listen now? Since it's not coming from my mouth, bro. I'm not saying these. It's coming from somebody else. Are y'all gonna open your ears up now? Or this guy a LeBron sexual also? Which one is it? Okay. Interesting.
Clyde Drexler couldn't shoot and was mentally weak. A Suns team in 1993 that wasn't good defensively. A Sonics team in 1996 that didn't have a dominant player, including an injured Gary Payton. And Jazz teams in 1997 and 1998 that were mentally weak, led by notorious chokers, pedophile Karl Malone, and anti-vaxxer John Stockton. This is not to say these were bad teams for the time period they played in, but compared to LeBron's finals opponents, they looked like community college teams. MJ never had to go up against dynasty teams like San Antonio or Golden State, and he was extremely fortunate to never go up against Hakeem. To put it another way, MJ never had a worse team around him in the finals than his opponent. He was expected to win, and he did. Contrary to popular belief, MJ was far from a one-man show when he was winning rings. Chicago was still good enough to win 55 games and was one terrible play call away from making the conference finals without him in 1994. Scottie Pippen was an elite player and a Hall of Famer. Horace Grant was an incredible third option. John Paxson was an ultra-clutch role player in the finals. Then later on, he had Dennis Rodman as an elite defender slash rebounder, and other role players.
And y'all want to say LeBron James stacks players. I'm not even a Laker fan, but y'all want to sit here and say LeBron stack players. Y'all just heard the man say he had this guy, this guy, this guy. Oh, matter of fact, he had that guy too. That guy's pretty nice. We also got him. I don't hear nothing. I don't hear nothing. Nada. And y'all call me the hater, man. It's not coming from me no more. It's not coming from me no more, bro. I'm not saying these no more, bro. Someone else is saying it. Are y'all willing to listen now?
Coach who could fill in the gaps offensively to take some of the burden off of MJ. Bro. Shout out to Steve Kerr for his super clutch. It
feels good to sit back and just listen sometimes. You know what I mean? It feels good not to speak the truth sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Let somebody else do it. It feels good. It feels good.
Winning shot in 1997. Phil Jackson wasn't a bad coach to have either. From a narrative standpoint, MJ had the perfect career. He came into the league on a bad team. His team slowly got better around him, but he kept running into a bully, Detroit. He lost in the first round, then the conference semifinals, then the conference finals. Finally, through hard work, he eventually beat the bully to reach the mountaintop. And save for 1995, he never lost again after that. It's smooth and easy to follow, and you can't argue with the results. But the narrative and results require context. And once you do that, MJ just barely falls into second place on my list. Number 1, LeBron James. The mere mention of LeBron's name evokes so many different emotions. Much like with MJ, by this point, you've made up your mind about him, so there's really no point in me trying to convince you otherwise. LeBron James is the most complete basketball player of all time. If you ask me for a general statement of why LeBron is the best ever, I would say because he has dominated the most talented era ever for a longer period of time than anybody else. We are so numb and overexposed to his greatness in the social media era that every now and then it's necessary to take a step back to realize just how insane his career has been. 4 rings, 4 finals MVPs, 4 MVPs, 17 All-Star games, 17 All-NBA teams, the all-time leading scorer in playoff history, etc. He's averaged 20 points.
Open your ears up, please. Open your ears up, please. You heard it, man.
Per game in all 18 years of his.
Not those who already know the truth. I'm not talking to y'all who already know what the business really is. I'm talking to the guys who don't know, who don't really know. You know what I'm saying? The guy that's just trying to find a way onto this side. You know what I mean?
career, and he's averaged at least 25 points per game for 17 straight seasons. That's insane, and even more insane is that scoring isn't his best quality. His court vision is legendary, and even though he averages over 7 assists per game, those numbers still underrate his ability to generate great looks for his teammates. There are people right now who have driver's licenses that weren't alive the last time LeBron didn't make an All-NBA team. The last time LeBron didn't get an MVP vote, social media wasn't even a thing. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and yes, even YouTube weren't around. Think about that. People used platforms that didn't even exist the last time LeBron wasn't an elite player to say he's overrated. Longevity isn't the only thing LeBron has.
Y'all hear this man, bro? He just called y'all haters while calling y'all haters, basically. Y'all listen, it's not coming from me no more. I'm not saying this. Someone else is. Will y'all listen to someone else? Since y'all don't want to listen to me, will y'all listen to someone else? That's a damn shame, bro. Let's go back on that one. I like that. I like that one.
YouTube weren't around. Think about that. People use platforms that didn't even exist the last time LeBron wasn't an elite player to say he's overrated. Longevity isn't the only thing LeBron has going for him, as it's tough to even say what his peak is. Do you value the nuclear athletic LeBron from 2009, the all-around terror LeBron from 2013, the most offensively skilled version of LeBron from 2018? LeBron has had about 3 to 4 different peaks in which he was the best player in basketball. Team success, 10 finals appearances and 4 championships is sufficient. Playoff performance, 29, 9, and 7 on 54% effective field goal percentage over 266 games is good. And 10 finals appearances, 4 finals MVPs, and 28, 10, and 8 averages. Pretty fucking good. Competition level, more on that later. But as LeBron haters are all too eager to point out, LeBron is not without his warts. He was not good in the 2007 finals versus San Antonio, but this is largely overlooked due to his terrible supporting cast and all the defensive attention being focused on him.
I try to tell that. I try to say that, but y'all ain't want to listen to that. Now he's saying it. Y'all just hearing me, but out of another man's mouth. Pause on those. But you get my drift.
He shot just 36% against the legendary Boston defense in 2008, but again, this is largely forgivable due to the same reasons as 2007, and he put up a monster 45 points in Game 7, but fell just short. He was accused of quitting versus Boston in 2010 after going up 2-1, although if certain rumors are true, more than understandable why he did so. The biggest black mark is obviously his meltdown in the 2011 finals, in which he completely choked and was a complete no-show in the fourth quarter all series long. The biggest reason you hear why LeBron can't be the GOAT is because of his 4-6 finals record, and in comparison to Jordan's 6-0 finals record, it looks like shit. This is where competition level comes into play. It is true MJ never had a series as bad as LeBron had in the 2007 and 2011 finals, but overall LeBron has had more great final series than MJ. Think about this. LeBron has 4 finals MVPs in addition to 3 final series where he averaged 36, 13, 9, 34, 12, and 10, and 34, 9, and 10. 3 of the best finals performances ever, and nothing to show for them in his trophy case. Why? Because of terrible luck. In 2015, his best teammate broke his kneecap in Game 1, and in 2017 and 2018, his opponent was the KD Warriors, the most talented and unstoppable team ever. It's also worth noting LeBron had the misfortune of being on the wrong end of the Spurs, having an unsustainably hot shooting performance in the 2014 finals. MJ never faced an opponent capable of anything like that. In his 10 finals appearances, LeBron has been favored to win just 3 times, and, at best, he's had the better roster only 4 times, whereas MJ was favored each time. It's true LeBron lost when he should have won in 2011, but he also won when he should have lost in 2016 when he had the best finals performance of all time, leading a 3-1 comeback against a 73-win team. In that series, he led each team in all 5 major stat categories, the only player to ever do so. To put it bluntly, the difference in rings between LeBron and MJ is solely due to the massive difference in opponent quality.
That might be worth 2 rings at least. That alone might be worth 2 rings on your finger. That's all I'm saying.
Because MJ is a better player than LeBron. But forget about team results. As I stated before, LeBron is the most complete player ever. If you need him to score 30, he can do that. If you need him to grab 15 rebounds, he can do that. If you need him to drop 10 assists and set up teammates, he can do that. If you need him to guard the opponent's best player, he can do that too. But the tiebreaker to me is this. MJ could turn a good team into a great team better than LeBron, but LeBron can make a bad team into a good team better than anybody that's ever lived. To me, the latter is more impressive.
Look at that
scary thing is, a healthy LeBron, not one rushed back early from a high ankle sprain due to
that is a crime, bro. Y'all want to
thing is,
hold up, bro. Hold up. This right here to be a crime, bro. And y'all want to talk about LeBron James need this, he need that. What? Look at this. You got Tristan Thompson and Kyle Korver next to Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson, bro. Let's be real, man. Let's be freaking real for a second, bro. How is that fair? LeBron just tired. Now when the shoe goes on the other foot, y'all get mad. Even though he had Kyrie and K-Love in this situation, I know they got injured, but look at this. This is a crime. This is sad.
Not one rushed back early from a high ankle sprain due to a dirty play by a scrub, is still the best player in the league. There's no way to know when he's finally going to hit a wall and slow down for good on his own. Is that a good or a bad thing? Your answer to that question, just like my list, is completely subjective. Fuck Tom Brady.
What Tom Brady got to do with these? Hold up.
In the league. There's no way.
Okay, all right. Tom Brady, he the go-to. No question about it. But hey, man, that's the top 12 NBA players of all time. In my opinion, this list was kind of flawed. Well, it was flawed. This list was nowhere near perfect. The only thing he got right is the top 2. You know what I'm saying? That I can say indefinitely that those are completely facts. Was the top 2. Now everything else is very, very questionable. But number 1, LeBron James. 2 goes to MJ, and the rest is up for debate. It's simple as that. Those are the facts, and I'm sticking to it. You know what I mean? But hey, man, that's the end of the video. Hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to your boy. We got it here, man.